What's up, guys? This is Ray and welcome to Asia Filmist, and I'm here to talk about the 2018 Japanese film One Cut of the Dead, directed by Ueda Shinichiro and starring Hamatsu Takayuki. And I said 2018 because that is the year that this movie showed up in Japanese cinemas. And the way I kind of think about movies when I mention the year of release is the year it was released in the theaters, because those were the years I could have watched it. I believe this movie came out actually in 2017 at a film festival or two. I can't remember exactly which film festival, but after his film festival release and after it got a lot of buzz overseas, it finally got released in Japanese theaters in 2018. And it wasn't only just one run, it was a few runs. And I caught it towards the end of its second run, I want to say it was. But yeah, caught it in the theaters, and I had a great time, to say the least. So the story of One Cut of the Dead, it's about this movie director named Higurashi, and he's shooting a zombie movie in this abandoned factory. And he's a pretty intense director with a pretty intense style. But during the first day of shooting, something wild happens, and real zombies start invading their shoot. And despite all the madness and all the insanity that ensues, Higurashi, in his intense style, insists that the camera does not stop rolling, and he continues to shoot to get everyone's genuine reaction in response to this zombie apocalypse, because he just can't get that genuine feel, that genuine acting out of his actors when everything is scripted. So he figures, this is the best chance. I'm going to film everything, and don't you dare cut the camera. We're going to keep rolling. So as far as the positives go with One Cut of the Dead, the first thing I want to say is that this movie is made with a very low budget, and it's proud of that. It doesn't hide the fact that it's a low budget movie. This movie was made, according to Wikipedia, the budget of this movie was about 3 million Japanese yen, which is about equal to a little under 30,000 USD. So it has a very small budget. And even though it has a small budget, it doesn't try to hide the fact. It doesn't try to act pretentious. It's just, takes its budget and does what it can. It does what it can with it. And I gotta say, the quality of the final product, you definitely don't feel that it's a 3 million yen production. And that leads into my next positive, which is the performers. The actors using this, I think they're all unknowns. I think the average amount of movies that every actor has made up until One Cut of the Dead is 0. I mean, I look at their filmographies on Asian Wiki, and I think there's only one actor in this movie who has more than one movie under their belt. And despite being very amateur, despite not having a very big filmography, everyone delivers. Everyone pulls off an amazing performance. Like, you wouldn't have been able to feel that this was their only theatrical production. Everyone was just on point. Everyone was entertaining. Everyone just delivered with the roles, and the entertainment value was very high. And I have to say, Hamatsu Takayuki, who plays the director Higurashi, he takes the spotlight as the best performer and also the most likable character in this movie. I mean, he goes through, like I mentioned in my synopsis, he's a pretty intense director when he's trying to bring these kinds of emotions, these kinds of reactions out of his actors. But then, you learn more about his character, and you can see that, man, the Hamatsu Takayuki can do a wide range of stuff. He goes from intense, and then he has his more kind of calm down moments. He has his charming moments, and all in all, he's such an entertaining performer. And just the way everyone just bounced back and forth from each other, everyone had a lot of chemistry together. I don't think there was one character in this whole movie that was not entertaining. And I think genre fans of zombie movies will have a lot to enjoy with this movie. It has, of course, enough amount of violence and blood and gore to call itself a zombie movie, but it has much more than that. And I think part of the appeal when it comes to not only this being a zombie movie, but just being a great movie altogether, is that the first 40 minutes were just done in one take. Well, if it wasn't done in one take, it fooled me. Then it was very cleverly edited, so that way it was made to look like one take. But at the same time, I mentioned the small budget of 3 million yen. And yeah, I'm pretty damn sure the first 40 minutes were done in one take. It was seamless, and just the way everything was pieced together, the way everything was framed, and what everyone was doing on screen, it was very cleverly crafted. But that kind of leads into my first negative, in that the first 40 minutes can get kind of dizzying. If you are someone who who experiences motion sickness very easily, you might feel a little squeamish during the whole sequence because the camera does move around quite violently, especially in the more intense scenes, and especially when they're running through the woods, running through the factory. There is no finesse with the way the camera is held. It really looks like an amateur was holding the camera. But that's kind of part of the charm. But I say the biggest negative I have about One Cut of the Dead is that I can't talk about this movie much longer than what I've already said, to be honest, without being in danger of spoiling the story. I think if you read any reviews of One Cut of the Dead, many people tell you what happens after the first 40 minutes. But I'm going to tell you a little bit. Basically the story flips. And you think if you just watch the trailers, you think you know what's happening in the movie, but really you don't. And if you read any of the other movies, any of the other reviews of this movie, you might know what happens, and I'm sorry you actually had to spoil yourself, because I think part of the enjoyment when watching this movie is not knowing exactly what this movie is going to take you through. It's that after the 40-minute mark, after this whole one cut of zombie movie madness finishes, that's when the real magic and the real charm of this movie shines through. And I wish I could say more about it in this video. Maybe in the future I'll have a spoiler review once the majority of the world can actually watch this movie. But for now, I'm just going to say, please do yourself a favor and watch this movie without reading any reviews, because seriously, I think that's just the best way to go about this movie. You can't read a review and then watch the movie, because that just ruins a lot of the surprise. But I will say, overall, this movie has heaps and heaps of entertainment value. And, as a zombie movie, it works. And it's much more than that, as I keep saying. It has a lot of heart, has a lot of charisma, and just overall a lot of fun. And I think it's quite a short film. I don't think it's like a full 2 hours like a typical Japanese movie is. And I think I think the time length that this movie was made out to be was absolutely perfect. This movie will have you in tears, and this movie will have you gripping the arms of your chairs, but probably not for the reasons you guys are imagining why right now. This movie is filled with wonderful performances, and when everything comes together at the end, I think, the payoff is phenomenal. It comes with my highest recommendation. This is definitely one of my favorites of the year. So if you ever get the chance to watch it, please do. But remember, don't read anyone else's reviews on this. You just go into it blind. But yes, those are my thoughts on One Cut of the Dead. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And please try not to spoil the movie, those of you guys who've seen it already. But if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And if you really dig my content, please know you can support Asian Films via Patreon from as little as $1. And yeah, that's about it for me, everyone. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you all again in the next video. Take it easy.